Alright, hey everybody, what is up? My name is Shadow, and we are back today with another DC Collectibles Arkham Knight action figure unboxing. And who do we have this time? But Catwoman. This is the coolest Catwoman figure I have ever seen. This is probably the coolest Catwoman I have ever seen. Usually she has an outfit that makes her look like a giant like dragonfly or something, but no, this outfit is actually the coolest one I've ever seen on Catwoman. When I first saw her in the video game, I was like, oh my god, they actually did a good Catwoman for this game. So I had to get the figure. So let's unbox her and see what she's actually like out of the box. Here we go. So here she is out of the box, and while she does stand up on her own pretty well, she doesn't unfortunately do it right out of the box. But that's only because she happens to be wearing high heels, which are, you know, a vital part of her outfit and stuff, so it's forgivable. It just takes a little bit of finesse and finagling to get her to stand up on her own. Okay, it's actually pretty hard to get her to stand up on her own, but again, high heels, I don't know. You can get an action base or something like that for this figure. Anyways, the first thing you're going to notice when you take her out of the package is, unlike any of the other DC Collectibles figures that we've done so far, this figure feels very delicate in a distinctly feminine way. And I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, this is a Catwoman action figure, but I was a little surprised by it, just because all the other DC Collectibles figures we've unboxed so far have felt really, really solid. And this figure feels like, well, she just feels a bit more delicate. And I guess that's to be expected. So let's talk about her accessories first. So first of all, she comes with two whips. There's this one, which actually just has a little nub right on it, and it fits in this little groove right here on her leg, and you can just put it in there like this, and it just stays right in there, and it looks very cool. Then she also has this other whip, which is actually just a little rubber thing, and it's just all flaily and stuff, and it can fit in her hand very nicely, which are her next set of accessories. So she comes with several sets of interchangeable hands. Right now we have the swiping claw hands in, but she also has some hands that are closed fists, and she also has some hands that can hold an object like the whip. And when you put the whip in the open hands, it stays in there pretty well. It's not a tight fit, but it does go in there. Now, the interchangeable hands are a good thought. However, I feel they're kind of somewhat poorly executed on this figure. I noticed when I was switching out the grip hands for the claw hands that, one, it was very hard to get them out, like very hard. And two, I noticed that as I was taking them out, I was actually rubbing off some of the paint, like large flakes of paint were coming off along with the hands, and that's not something that I saw happening on any other figure that had, you know, interchangeable parts. Other than that, the articulation on this figure is really good. It's at least as good as the articulation on any of the other DC Collectibles Arkham Knight figures that we've seen so far. She has feet that rock back and forth like so. They also rotate like this. She has double jointed knees that are very stiff in the beginning here. Now, these knees are double jointed. However, on both legs, I can really only get the bottom joint to move. I feel like the top joint is supposed to move because it does on every other figure. However, if I apply a lot of pressure, I feel like I can kind of feel it buckling at mid-thigh, and I don't want to apply too much pressure to that. But there is a joint here, so I don't know, bend at your own risk, I guess. Then she is articulated at the mid-thigh, just like all the rest of the Arkham Knight line of figures. And then the hip is also on a ball joint, and it can move out about this far sideways, and about this far forward, and it's stopped, you know, by her butt right here, and so legs can't go back terribly far, but that's okay. Now the hands have pretty good articulation. They can go back and forth as well as rotate at the wrist, and they are interchangeable, and all of the hands have the same range of motion. Then her elbows have a 90-degree range of motion like this, and they also rotate like this. And the shoulders have pretty much what you would expect in the ways of range of motion here. And they can go around 360 degrees. Then her head is fairly articulate. Let's see if she can turn it all the way around. Okay, yeah, so it can go, okay, her head can go 360 all the way around, and not too far back. This is as far back as it goes, and that's as far down as it will go. Then she is very well articulated in the torso. She can bend like this, and I don't think this goes 360. I kind of don't want to try it, but yeah, she can at least go about so far, and a little bit of rocking back and forth action here. Maybe I should bring that back to the middle. Sorry, I got a little off to the side there. But yeah, and then there's no waist articulation, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty good on the articulation. So just like the detail on all the other DC Collectibles figures we've seen so far, the detail on this figure is actually really good. So if we take a look at the boots, we can actually see all the little laces that go across all the eyes, and there's actually a little bit of a color gradient on the tongues of the boots, and that's a really nice touch. Now here on like her thigh material, there are actually two different textures here. There's this kind of a mesh texture right here, and then there's like a more glossy latex kind of texture over here. And it's like that pretty much up the entire figure. And we can even see the little buckles over here and everything, and the detailing on the collar and stuff. And I really like that her face actually looks like her face in the video game. So that's going to bring us to the end of this unboxing and review of the DC Collectibles Arkham Knight Catwoman action figure. And she was actually pretty cool. I like her a lot. Now for all you otakus out there, no, her clothes do not come off. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. So don't forget to hit that like button if you liked this video. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more stuff coming up like this in the future. And that is it for me. I will see you guys in the next one.